So alternative financing, I think, is really really smart. I just think that there's probably more opportunity than we even know of that's on those cars at the end of the day. But just thinking about expanding the business, what does it look like in the service department if the average age is 14 years? Like how much stuff would you do differently?
I probably would focus on value. Like I do think that for the longest time we were trying to convince dealerships that their prices were too low. Now I do believe that there's a market out there for somebody not quite as aggressive. So I would really pay attention to my pricing and to the volume and to there's just a balance to be achieved between having the availability, doing the maintenance and retaining customers and what you're charging.
Hmm. And that goes back to marketing, right? So
Yeah.
pricing is a big part of how to market, and
A
we've
pricing strategy.
yeah, which I don't think is existent in most stores.
No, and there's a lot of ways to get at that, like free oil changes or, different things that make customers feel like they're a part of a club. But that sort of stuff works, right?
Yeah.
Then the other one is having some sort of follow-up process that pays attention to your database and who you're losing and calling them and asking them why and trying to get them back, but not just leaving it to chance, like really following up.
Yeah. I think that the phone call in itself might be enough to get somebody to try you again. Because I think the perception is that the dealership doesn't care.
Yeah. Uh,
That's really smart to make those calls.
And what is the biggest upside to having this thing figured out?
They'll buy more cars when it is time.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
they really are more likely to buy another vehicle from you. And at some point, it just there's no other way to do it. It just will break down too much. It'll just be too much for them and they're gonna have to do something.
Yeah. I call that the do not resuscitate moment, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
she's dead. Paddles, stop.
I think one of the biggest downfalls of our industry, and it's funny because I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, where they were like, if you would design a dealership from scratch, like completely throw out the model we have now, I would design it for the customer.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't design different departments. I would design an experience for the customer, and they would never really think about the idea that there's different departments. They would have one relationship.
Yeah. And they would come into one spot and then there would be some sort of a concierge. I think I see what you're talking about there. That's
That might
great.
be a good episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
For us to break down how we would do it. It would be completely different than what everybody's doing now in the sense that we're used to what we're doing now, but it is probably the least efficient way of doing
Yeah.
things, especially with the overhead that it creates. Having more departments creates more overhead.
I agree with that. It's interesting.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Driving Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.